Yo, what up? We're on our way to go see James and the Cold Gun. This is a concert that is part of a subscription service that I signed up for called Do More LA or Do LA More. I forget. It's like $7 a month. This is not a paid advertisement. But this was my first experience with that, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and hit that up and see how it goes. It's at the Moroccan Lounge. I'm completely unfamiliar with this band. I looked them up a little bit online and saw that they're a British rock band, kind of indie sound. I liked that there were it was not just a bunch of boring hipster looking dudes. So that was why I chose them, right? Because you get a list of choices on which shows you want to go to on the app or on the website. And that was the one that looked interesting to me out of the list that I had. So I decided to go ahead and sign up for it, check it out, and now I'm headed in. The freeways in LA are very trafficy, and I'm hyped. Let's go see a fucking show! James and the Cold Gun with Standby at the Moroccan Lounge in Los Angeles on December 16th, 2025. The last time I was at the Moroccan Lounge was roughly 15 years ago. My friend Shola was playing with her band Divisible, and I remember thinking the venue would be a great place to host goth parties. The venue had these dark red walls, and the architecture looked not quite spooky, but mysterious and old. Very vibey. When the opportunity came to see James and the Cold Gun at this venue, I decided why not. The last time I was there, I parked in the interior parking lot and went over tire spikes on my way out. Luckily, they were lowered so as to not puncture tires, but it still freaked out because it looked like they would do a number on anything that went over them. This time, I parked on the street right outside the front door, literally the best spot you could hope to find. I went inside and immediately saw the merch booth, and which was cool because as a juggalo, I always have to check out the merch. What merch people bring on tour is an important sign of their scene and their culture. They had a record for sale, some stickers, and a few shirts. No one was working the table at the time, so I went inside. The venue looked much how I remembered it. Mysterious and warm, dark, deep red walls that evoke a vampire burlesque show. There's a great little partition between the bar and the stage area, which was a pretty modest-sized room. Great for local or traveling indie bands. While looking at ads for upcoming events, I saw that they do, in fact, host goth nights, emo nights, and basically a litany of other themed parties. I saw an ad for an upcoming 90s grunge night. I noticed members of the band hanging out in the bar area before the show, chatting with people who came in early. Since this was my first exposure to the band, I didn't want to talk to them and ask them questions. The stage area was pretty empty before the bands came out, but when the opening band hit the stage, people wandered in. Standby were a few young men. I spoke with their vocalist after the show, and he confirmed that he is only 18 and recently graduated high school, so he hasn't been able to tour yet. When listening to them, I got a strong sense that they really like 90s alternative rock music, like Third Eye Blind with elements of Soundgarden thrown in. One song's riffs reminded me of Blitzkrieg Bop by the Ramones, and occasionally the singer's voice was strained as he tried to deliver lines in the style of singing reminiscent of Kurt Cobain's haunting performance on MTV Unplugged, but not quite hitting the notes. The kids had a ton of energy, though, and were super excited to be opening for the band James and the Cold Gun. The vocalist expressed being a fan several times. I think most of the audience at this point were their friends and family, and that took me back to when I used to go see my friends play. did mention they had a new bassist named Gabby. She did a great job throughout the night, and the lead guitarist, who was also named James, spoke with me a bit after the show, and I told him that I was unfamiliar with their band and that I had had a great time. He was excited to hear that and offered to sign the vinyl I'd purchased. Their merch guy took the vinyl backstage and had the rest of the band sign it as well, which was cool. I like to park myself right up front, much like my parking space outside, as close to the stage as I can, even though most people think it's nerdy to be excited about stuff. I enjoyed their set, and the vocalist gave me a fist bump halfway through. He was very interactive with the crowd and even stepped off the stage a few times, held his microphone out to have people sing along, and made the show a pretty fun spectacle. Right before the end of the night, someone called out that the night was going too fast, and Gabby the bassist said it was a good thing the next song was slow. And they jumped into probably their heaviest song of the night, which prompted the night's first circle pit. Cut the Brakes is the band's single that's out right now, and it's the penultimate song of the night. Standing behind me was a young girl, probably still in high school, and her mom. The girl was wearing a James and the Cold Gun t-shirt and had the biggest smile on her face the whole night. She was deeply in love with this band, which was infectious, and helped me see why people like them. I love that the apparent mother was there to support her child's love for live music. I found it very interesting that James and the Cold Gun sounded a lot more modern than the young kids of Standby, though that could be cultural influences and also the fact that the guys of Standby haven't found their own unique version of indie rock guy sound. But they're working on it, and they were doing a good job. After the show, the bands were hanging out at the merch table for a while. I waited a bit and had a drink and then bought my vinyl. This was when I spoke with James, the lead guitarist, and the kid from Standby. I went home and made it to bed. Made it home at about 10:45, so not quite as early as James, the vocalist, had indicated. But he didn't know I had an hour commute.